Jake here for American Muscle, and today I am taking a look at the shark fin rear diffuser for 2015 and newer Challenger GT and SXT models. If you're looking to add a little track-inspired style to your Challenger GT or SXT, this diffuser is going to be just your speed. It lends itself to a nice aggressive look that's going to make a big visual impact on the style of your car. Now the shark fin name comes obviously from these four fins here. They're a bit thinner at the bottom and a bit thicker up at the top, so they're sort of reminiscent of a shark's fin and what you might find on a race car. Now when we say the word diffuser, some may think of additional downforce, but unless you're getting something super heavy duty and going along at race speeds to boot, which we obviously don't recommend out on the road, we're really just talking about style here. Now this is not going to make downforce like a race car, but it is a really cool style in my opinion. This isn't huge or anything, and it blends in really nicely with the lower bumper of the Challenger, just enough to set it apart from some others on the road. Now, it's made from this nice high strength polypropylene material, so it's got good tensile strength, and it's going to hold up to any impacts you might encounter out on the road. It's also molded, as you can see, to fit the rear bumper of your car nice and tight, and this gloss black finish is going to blend in nicely with the finish at the bottom of the bumper. Now, of course, you have the option to paint this too. So if you're looking for an accent color, or if you want to color match to the bumper or the car itself, you're certainly able to do that. It's very easy to do it right out of the box. But you can also get this mounted up just as it comes, and you're ready to go. Now, as far as pricing goes, this is going to come in right around $150, which isn't bad for something that can make this much of a visual impact. And as far as install goes, this one gets an easy 1 out of 3 on the difficulty meter, and it shouldn't take you more than about 30 minutes to get it installed. You're going to utilize these 4 clips on the back here to get this part on, and the rest of it, just secure it with some double-sided tape, which you will need to pick up. The other thing I would recommend picking up in addition to that double-sided tape are some alcohol wipes and maybe even some adhesion promoter, just to get the surface here and on the car as clean as possible to ensure a solid mount. You want to get this thing stuck on so it's not going to go anywhere. And with that, let's head to the install bay now, and we'll show you just how to get this one done.
Here's the tools and product. We're going to need double face tape, sticky on both sides, piece of tape to mark a line, adhesion promoter so that the tape sticks really well to the plastic parts, the plastic parts cleaner. Clip removing tools. This is really common. Couple of different types of clip removing tools. You need a razor knife or razor blade for cutting your tape and getting into the box. Once everything is unpackaged and you're laid out, first step you want to do is clean your plastic surface with an alcohol-based or solvent-based plastic cleaner, preferably something that's made for plastic so you don't damage the plastic if you wipe outside of your covered area. You just get it damp on a rag. Then you want to come over and clean all your mating surfaces thoroughly. Make sure there's no oil, waxes, dirt, debris left on the mating surfaces, especially around your edges where it's going to be taped to the bumper. You want it really clean. You want to come over to the diffuser, and we're going to clean the outer edges where we're going to run tape. Once we clean that with a plastic parts cleaner, it only takes a couple minutes to dry. We'll take some plastic adhesion promoter. There's many different brands. I'm using a product called Ultra Bond. It makes the glue on the double face tape stick to the bare plastic with maximum adhesion. So we're going to take this. Most products come with their own applicator. You want to squeeze off the excess so you don't make a big mess. And you just make one quick wipe along your mating surface where you're going to run double face tape. And then I'll come over to the bumper and do the same. So if you're nervous about getting outside of your areas, you can always run a tape line. You know that the diffuser lands just below this body line and just inside of these body lines. So just to make sure I'm really careful and don't run outside of my line, I'll run a quick tape line to follow that body line. And one here. It'll just keep me, make sure I don't run out onto my surface, because the adhesion promoter will stain the plastic. My adhesion promoter is still wet enough. Just a quick wipe. May not see it on camera, but there's a little strip of that going on there. Now that needs to dry for about 5 minutes before we apply our tape to it. Now once this is flashed off and almost completely dry looking where our adhesion promoter is at, and we start applying our double face tape. We go just inside of the rolled lip on the outside of the panel with the double face tape. When you get to a curve like this, you can stretch the tape a little to make the corner. And we'll stop short, and the piece that runs across will come the rest of the way into our corner. Run right across here with a piece, just the same, right to the corner, just inside of the roll lip. Cut this off just inside of that ridge. See here. And our last strip down this side. Double face tape is all on, ready to install the diffuser. Step over to the vehicle, we'll remove the clips. Okay, I've removed the tape, got the double face tape on my panel. Next step is to pull these plastic retainers out of the bottom of the bumper with your clip tool. There's the head and there's a base. You'll get between the two layers and separate them. And then the center slides out almost all the way, and then the rest comes out. Again, here's the clips and how they work. They spread when the center goes in. To remove them, you simply get into the groove provided, force your tool in, and pry the center out. Once the center comes out to a certain point, this is allowed to squeeze in, and it pulls right out of the hole. And we've got 4 of those to remove. Squeeze into the groove. The center came all the way out of that one. It did not break, it just came all the way out. They are 2-piece. Don't be scared if you pull the center out, it's okay. Just got my clips out. The bottom of the bumper is loose from the vehicle. We're ready to install the diffuser.
Will we clean up around the clip spot, John? There we go.
So we'll pull the covering off the double face tape. Sometimes a little tricky to get it started. I find it easiest to cut down the metal, start from the middle, and then peel it off. So we'll cut down the middle of it, pull it by that flap, and it peels right off quite easily. We'll cut in the middle, pull that edge, grab it, peel it off. Now to install, we want to make sure that we center it, bump the ridge, and we line up with our holes on the bottom. We're tight to the bumper, we're tight to the ridge, all the way forward. Put our two side retainers in. And then go ahead and push along the whole edges to make sure your tape is in here. It takes about 20 to 30 pounds of pressure per square inch to make sure you have complete adhesion to the bonding tape. Now we'll go ahead and put our last two clips in. So the pin's all set in tight, based. You see we're well thoroughly adhered to the rear bumper, where if I pull at the diffuser, right here I wasn't completely stuck. I just want to go back and re-stick. We'll make sure you do it while the plastic is warm, above 70 degrees. The colder it is, the harder it is to get good adhesion.
That's going to do it for our review and install of the shark fin rear diffuser for 2015 and newer Challenger GT and SXT models. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, for all things Challenger, be sure to stick with us right here at AmericanMuscle.com.